He who defines the terms wins the argument. Most people live in a world of borrowed meaning. They use words they didn't define, follow values they didn't choose, and chase a success that was programmed into them by a society that doesn't know their name. They are semantic slaves. When the Matrix tells you that security means a 9-to-5 job, you believe it. When the crowd tells you that luxury is vanity, you believe it. When the system tells you that freedom is picking between two pre-selected options, you believe it. Wealth is the reclamation of definition. The architect of fate knows that reality is a semantic construction. We don't earn the millions to buy stuff. We earn the millions to buy the right to define. We want the power to look at the world and say, no, this is what freedom looks like. This is what excellence looks like. This is what a human being is capable of. We buy the high-performance machine and the 100-acre estate because they are visual definitions. In a world of cheap and disposable, the V12 engine is a definition of permanence. In a world of noisy and crowded, the mansion is a definition of sovereignty. We are not materialists. We are semioticians of power. We are using the material world to write a new dictionary for the human soul. In this episode, I will show you how to move from being a consumer of meaning to being the author of reality.
Let us look at the luxury car through the lens of meaning. The average person looks at a Ferrari and sees a status symbol. They see a way to make people look at them. This is a low-frequency interpretation. It is the meaning of a beggar dressed in silk. The architect looks at the Ferrari and sees a physical syllable of truth. A V12 engine is not just a motor. It is a statement of intent. It is the human spirit saying, I will not accept the friction of the wind. I will not accept the limitations of the distance. I will create a machine so precise, so powerful, and so beautiful that it forces the universe to acknowledge my presence. The car is a weapon of communication. When you drive that machine, you are broadcasting a meaning to your own subconscious. You are telling your brain, I am a person who speaks the language of excellence. I am a person who inhabits the frequency of the elite. We get rich to buy the high-standard vocabulary. If you drive a budget car, you are speaking a budget language to your soul. You are using slang for your potential. But when you drive the masterpiece, you are using poetry. We demand the leather, the carbon fiber, and the 800 horsepower because they are the adjectives of the sovereign. They describe a life that is unapologetic, uncompromised, and unconquerable. Stop looking at the price tag. Start looking at the definition. What does your lifestyle say about the nature of existence?
Why do we build the sanctuary? Why do we spend millions on the stone, the wood, and the glass? It is to build a library of internal meaning. Most people's homes are random. They are filled with objects they bought because they were on sale or because they saw them in a magazine. Their environment is a jumble of contradictions. And because their environment is a jumble, their mind is a jumble. The architect builds a semantic sanctuary. Every line in your home, every material you touch, every view from your window must have a purpose. The stone represents weight and history. The glass represents transparency and vision. The open space represents the infinity of the mind. We get rich to buy the right to curate our own reality. When you live in a high-standard environment, you are living inside your own worldview. You aren't visiting a house. You are inhabiting your own philosophy. This is the non-materialistic reason for the mansion. It is a physical encyclopedia of your standards. When you walk through your halls, you are reading the story of your own discipline. You are seeing the manifestation of your own no-negotiables. The luxury is just the ink. The meaning is the sovereignty of the person who built it. We don't need more rooms. We need more clarity. And in the physical world, clarity costs millions.
In the Matrix, truth is a fluid concept. It changes based on the politics of the day, the feelings of the crowd, and the needs of the algorithm. The architect knows that truth requires infrastructure. An idea without money is just a ghost. An idea with $1 billion is a global meaning. The non-materialist seeks wealth to be the editor-in-chief of their own life. We earn the hundreds of millions to buy the sanctity of the narrative. Think about the average person. If they speak a truth that is unpopular, they lose their job. They lose their meaning in the eyes of the crowd. They are forced to apologize. They are forced to recant. Wealth is the apology killer. When you have the high life, when you have the independent wealth, you can afford to hold the line on meaning. You can say, this is what I believe, and I don't care if you like it. I own the building, I own the land, I own the truth. The world wants to put you in a box. They want to call you a capitalist, a socialist, a materialist, or a spiritualist. They want to define you so they can control you. The sovereign is the definition maker. You use your wealth to stay outside of their boxes. You are the ghost of the system who uses the gold of the system to build a reality that the system cannot understand. Your luxury is your diversion. While they are talking about your car, you are defining the future of humanity in the silence of your estate.
Let us speak of the death of the flex. The materialist buys the luxury to get status. They want people to think they are important. This is a beggar's mindset. It is seeking meaning from the outside in. The architect of fate inhabits the post-status frequency. We don't buy the luxury to get meaning. We buy the luxury because we have already created the meaning. The car and the house are the side effects of our evolution. We don't need them to feel powerful, but we require them because they are the only objects that can keep up with our vibration. Luxury is the ergonomics of the soul. If you are a 1,000 horsepower spirit, you cannot drive a 100 horsepower life. It's not about pride, it's about alignment. We get rich to buy the aesthetic integrity of the self. Think about a master artist. They don't buy the best paint to flex on other artists. They buy it because the cheap paint cannot express the depth of their vision. You are the master artist of your own existence. Your wealth is your palette. Your luxury is your canvas. We seek the millions to ensure that our internal symphony is played on the finest instruments. If the world sees wealth, let them. We see resonance.
Finally, let us speak of the legacy of semantics. The average person leaves behind money and stuff. The architect leaves behind meaning. We earn the billions to build the institutions of definition. We want to fund the schools that teach the new grammar of greatness. We want to fund the arts that celebrate the mythology of the sovereign. We want to build the foundations that protect the definitions of the human spirit for the next 200 years. Wealth is the ink of history. If the average mind writes the history books, the future will be a budget future. It will be a world of safety, compliance, and mediocrity. We get rich to hijack the narrative of the century. We want our high-standard lifestyle to act as a signal fire for the future. We want a child in the year 2125 to look back at our life and say, look at how they lived. Look at the precision of their machines. Look at the silence of their sanctuaries. They were not slaves to the matrix. They were the architects of a higher meaning.
We buy the luxury to act as semantic anchors. A 100-year-old Ferrari is not a car. It is a definition of beauty that has survived the test of time. A 200-year-old estate is not a house. It is a definition of sovereignty that has outlived empires. We earn the money to buy permanence of meaning.
We come to the end of our exploration into the architecture of meaning. You now understand that money is not for having. Money is for naming. It is a tool to name your own price. It is a tool to name your own destiny. It is a tool to name the truth. The Matrix wants you to use their dictionary. It wants you to stay in their semantic cage. It wants you to be a word in their sentence. Reject their dictionary. Go out there and earn the wealth, not so you can have more, but so you can define more. Earn the millions so you can afford to be the most inaccurate person in the world, meaning you don't fit into any of their categories. Buy the V12 so you can move through the world as a syllable of power. Build the sanctuary so you can live as a verse of stillness. You are not a subject. You are the lexicographer of your own universe. The world is a blank page. The gold is your pen. Stop reading the world. Start writing it. Stay meaningful. Stay rich. Stay sovereign. I'll see you at the author's table. The masterclass of meaning is now complete. Let us address the most common criticism of the high-standard lifestyle: the price. The average person looks at a $50,000 watch or a $20,000 desk and says, "It's not worth it. I can get the same utility for a fraction of the cost." From a logical, materialist perspective, they are right. But the architect of fate is not buying utility. The high price is a semantic ritual. In the elite world, the cost is the barrier to entry for meaning. When an object is expensive, it requires a sacrifice. It requires a level of focus, discipline, and capital that the average world cannot produce. By paying the high price, you are performing an act of contextual purification. You are saying to the universe, "I value this object enough to give up a significant portion of my life force for it. Therefore, this object cannot be average. It must be sacred." We buy the high-performance machine not because we are rich, but because we want an environment where cheap logic cannot exist. Think about the psychology of the bargain. When you look for the lowest price, you are training your brain to seek the minimum requirement. You are telling your subconscious that you are a person who accepts the barely good enough. This creates a semantic infection in your soul. Eventually, you start looking for the lowest price in your relationships, in your health, and in your vision.
The architect pays the premium of integrity. We want our car, our home, and our tools to have a weight of intent. We want the price tag to act as a noise filter. It keeps the mercenaries and the looky-loos away. It attracts only those who understand that quality is an infinite game. When you sit at a desk that costs more than a common man's car, you cannot have small thoughts. The environment won't allow it. The meaning of the desk is too heavy for lazy ideas. You have used your wealth to buy a neural constraint towards greatness. We live in a disposable civilization. Everything today is built to be deleted or replaced. We have fast fashion, fast furniture, fast relationships, and fast news. This creates a thin reality. When the objects in your life have no history and no future, your soul begins to feel weightless and meaningless. The architect of fate is at war with disposable definitions. We earn the millions to buy analog permanence in a digital void.
Why must we buy the mansion built of solid stone and the car made of hand-formed steel? Because these objects carry thick meaning. They have a temporal gravity. They don't change with the trends. They don't care about the algorithm. They simply are. Wealth is the preservative of the real.
In the Matrix, they want everything to be fluid so they can redefine it at will. They want to change the meaning of success, family, and freedom every 6 months to keep you confused and obedient. The sovereign uses their wealth to lock the definitions. We buy the legacy assets, the land, the gold, the timeless machines, to create a hard-coded reality. Our wealth acts as the ink that cannot be erased. We don't buy the high life to be modern. We buy it to be eternal. When you surround yourself with objects that are 50 or 100 years old and still functioning at the highest level, you are teaching your brain the semantics of longevity. You are realizing that new is not better. True is better. The non-materialist seeks wealth to buy the right to be unchangeable. The world will try to update your soul like a piece of software. It will try to patch your beliefs with the latest social trends. Your wealth is your firewall. It gives you the sanctuary to keep the old definitions alive. It gives you the margin to ignore the updates. It allows you to be a living library of human excellence in a world that is becoming a digital trash heap.